Hey everyone, this is Libertarian Black Man. I want to talk about the Fight for 15 fallacy as shown by presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, who is the one who spearheaded the Fight for 15 movement more than anyone else. Now, what is this movement? It is the idea that minimum wage workers in America should have their pay raised from $7.25 an hour, which is the federal minimum wage, to $15 an hour. Oh, and by the way, they should also be allowed to unionize. Bernie Sanders has been the front man for this movement for several years. Now here is the fallacy that Bernie Sanders himself exposed, and that is that in his own campaign, workers are getting less than $15 an hour because you have to pay people to work for you. If you're going to run for any office, they have to spend the time and the hours getting out your message and reaching people, raising money, and so on. And in fact, I have to give Bernie Sanders some credit in that his campaign, out of the 24 or so candidates who launched a presidential run in 2019, his is the only one to actually unionize. So Bernie Sanders has a unionized campaign. And in this case, the union is saying that the workers are not making $15 an hour. They're making less than that. So Bernie Sanders heard the complaints and said that he is going to pay staffers $15 an hour as a minimum wage. But look at the headline. The campaign announced back in July that it would cut hours in order to make that pay increase. He is showing us that you cannot give a minimum wage for nothing. It is not free. It is going to require sacrifice. You can't pull money out of thin air. And he is showing us, he is saying, look, I can't make the $15 minimum unless I do something when it comes to hours, because the more hours one works, the more money one makes, and the higher the per hour wage, the more cost that you will have in your campaign. So the union said that the organizers, the field organizers, who are among the lowest level paid workers in the campaign, were working 60 hours a week at a minimum, and their hourly pay was less than $13 an hour. If you look at how much they earn per year, and you see how many hours they worked, and you do the math, then you find out that they're earning less than $13 an hour. Many of the field staffers complained that they couldn't survive financially, and it was hurting their ability to be productive and keep a high morale in the campaign. And some of them had already quit the campaign as a result of not making enough money, not earning the $15 an hour that Bernie Sanders wants to force on every business, large and small and medium-sized in America, even though he was not doing that for his own campaign workers. Now, as it shows here in the Washington Post article, which talks about this labor dispute, the campaign workers who were working 60 hours a week were making $36,000 a year. They were not paid by the hour, but they were paid an annual salary. And when you do the math, 60 hours a week, $36,000 a year, it comes out to less than $13 per hour. And then you have your higher level people who are earning $48,000 a year, and some of them as much as $90,000 a year. But the bottom line is, he was not paying his own workers what he wants to force every business in America to pay. So that's hypocrisy if I've ever seen it. And so, after negotiating, the Bernie Sanders campaign reached a deal with the union in his campaign to set a $15 an hour minimum wage. Well, as was shown earlier, the campaign, according to Jonathan Williams, the spokesperson for the union, was going to boost everyone's pay up to $42,000 a year. But that is for 50 hours a week, which works out to more than $15 an hour. Again, he's raising everyone's pay, but he is cutting their hours down from 60 a week to 50 a week, which shows you even Bernie Sanders, who wants to force the $15 an hour minimum wage down the throats of every business, understands you cannot do that without sacrifice. In this case, the number of hours per week had to be cut from 60 to 50 hours in order to make that $15 an hour possible. So once again, I can't say it enough. Bernie Sanders may believe in the idea of a $15 an hour minimum wage, but he is also exposing the fallacy of it. You cannot just pass a law that raises people's incomes without sacrifice. If a business does not have the money to pay, it will simply either raise prices, or it will cut hours or cut workers, or it may just fold altogether. But there is no way that you can pull money out of thin air, that you can get something for nothing. Everything has a cost, and you will be required to sacrifice for it, whether you like it or not. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel Libertarian Black Man and follow the Twitter page Libertarian Black Man, and we hope to see you in the next video.